If you lived round here, that's a bit better. It's a bit noisy, isn't it? Still, we are in the middle of London, so you'd expect a bit of noise. If you lived around here, you'd probably get used to it, like these pigeons. Traffic and tourists don't bother them. But what would all this sound like if you had hearing difficulties, if you were deaf? We don't really know, but we think that for many, it might be a bit like this. This is the place I'm looking for, the Royal National Institute for the Deaf.
Right, can I look in the other ear now, please?
All right. Doctor, do we really know what it's like to be deaf?
Well, for most people, it is muted sound, and it's often distorted, and many patients also have lots of noises in their ears, generated in their ears.
So it wouldn't be complete silence?
Only a few people are totally deaf. Most people hear something, but it's often not very useful to them when they're trying to decide what somebody is saying.
I see. The doctor explained that the delicate parts of the ear are inside the head, protected by the skull. First, there is the eardrum, a skin stretched across the ear passage. It's the drum that doctors can examine when they look into the ear. Beyond the drum are a number of very delicate, tiny bones. They transmit the sound to the innermost ear. Here, the sound is converted to tiny electrical impulses, which are fed to the brain. If your hearing is less than it should be, indistinct, muffled, then damage may have occurred anywhere in the system of the ear. And one way to be sure that everything is working as it should is to have a hearing test.
I will record on the chart here.
I see.
So if you'd like to put the headphones on,
Right.
take the button, and we'll start. Good. Okay, that was fine. We're now going to move to the next frequency, so it'll be a higher tone that you hear.
Every time I heard the tone through the headphones, I pressed the button. Eventually, the sound became so quiet, I couldn't hear it anymore. That was the point Michael was interested in.
Go to another frequency.
This is just one of the many tests that can be used as a check on hearing.
Fine. Would you like to take the headphones off now? Right, that's better.
So, what has the machine told you?
Well, the machine has produced some information on this chart called an audiogram. And this line shows your level of hearing, which I'm pleased to say is normal.
Good.
Now, if in fact you had a hearing loss, the line would have come down here somewhere. And that would have meant that there was a loss and that something would have to be done about it, either by means of surgery, medication, or by the use of a hearing aid.
8, take away 5. 8, 8, take away 5. 3. Very good.
This is a hearing aid.
Write it in there.
A miniature speaker is feeding amplified sound directly into the ear through a plastic tube.
4.
It helps this profoundly deaf boy hear some part of what his teacher is saying to him.
2, right. Good boy. 2. Carry 2. 5 times 7.
But hearing aids won't restore hearing in the way that glasses can correct sight. And in some places, a hearing aid is of very little use. Michael Martin from the National Institute told me about some of the problems for hearing aid users.
Well, this to me seems like a very quiet sort of area. Is
Yeah.
this the kind of area where you turn the hearing aid up?
Well, it certainly is. I mean, if you wanted to hear the smaller sounds, then you would turn the aid up. The problem would be that as soon as you started to speak or I started to speak, then there would be a tremendous sound coming through and, you know, would be intolerable for many people.
That would be too loud.
Much too loud. One of the problems that people have with hearing aids is when they're at a distance from someone who's speaking.
Yes.
So if you were the hearing aid user and I gave you the hearing aid and now I started to walk away, you would find that the sound went down and down and down, and probably you wouldn't hear me at this distance. And if I come back in again, then the sound will come up, and eventually when we are back to our normal position, you'll be hearing just as well as you ever did in a quiet situation.
I see. Well, round here we don't have that much background noise. What would it be like in traffic?
Oh, it would be probably intolerable.
The problem is that the hearing aid amplifies all the sounds, not just those you want to hear. Any conversation in a busy street would be lost in the noise of the traffic, like this. You may just be able to hear the odd word that I'm saying, but it would be impossible to hold a conversation this way. And whatever you did would make no difference. Most hearing aid users switch off in noisy places like this. This hearing test needs to be carried out in the quietest possible place.
Yes. Yes. I can't hear that. Can you do it again, please?
You'll find that not everybody can hear equally well. When you have little hearing, you may rely on a flashing light to wake you. Or to warn you that the baby is awake. This would wake you not by its sound, but by vibrating under the blankets. And this may replace the doorbell. The sounds that a deaf person hears will be much quieter than they should be. They may also be very badly distorted. This hearing test may give you some idea of what a deaf person is actually hearing. Can you decide which of the two words you can read is being spoken?
Cot. Get.
In fact, it's the word underlined.
Gas. Pie.
The deaf will need more than just those distorted sounds to hold a conversation.
I use total communication, which means a clear face in the light. I always make sure that I'm facing the window so that the deaf person can see my face. I use, as well as sign language, finger spelling and gestures.
That was finger spelling, was it?
That's right. And it's very easy to learn finger spelling. It would only take you a few minutes. That's
Really?
all. Yes.
Last night, I think that all of you went to a disco. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah. What did you do there? You drank some punch. Oh, on its by itself or with something else, some food? Just on its own? Very nice.
These deaf children rely on lip reading, sign language, and their hearing aids in order to piece together the words that are being spoken and to take part in the conversation.
Say a betterness than sausage roll. Sausage roll. Roger! You had an orangeade? Say it again, you can say it better than that. Orange.
Because they have only poor hearing, they also have difficulty in forming the words they need to reply.
Right, and what did you have anything to eat? Did you eat?
Yeah.
What? Say it again. A hot dog. What did she say? What did she say?
Because they can't hear,
Come on, Sam, listen.
they don't know precisely what a word should sound like.
Yeah. Did you dance?
No.
Really? Can I ask you who with? Beautiful girl. No. Georgie! Ah, you've got a big smile in your face. Did you dance? Did you dance? One dance.
Deafness is a problem that has affected all their communication.